Hello, I'm Annalyn Winfrey, and we're here on this special episode of Motown Knows, where I'm joined by Demarion Lopez, a junior from Montrose High School, and Nikki Cook, a senior from Olathe High School, who both recently came back from competing in the state wrestling championships in Denver. Nikki, I wanted to ask you, what's it been like to see girls wrestling evolve in Colorado over the course of your high school career? Because it wasn't at first a CHASA official sport when you were a freshman, right?
Yeah, it became a CHASA sport my junior year. So the first 2 years that I wrestled in the state tournament, they were just I guess, like the test years to see if they could get enough girls to wrestle.
What's it been like to see that evolve over your wrestling career? Like, how has it changed since your freshman year?
Uh, it's been nice because there's actually a lot more girls wrestling now instead of just all boys. So there's a lot more girls trying out for the sport, and it's great because there's more competition now.
Awesome. Demarion, I wanted to ask you how what was it like for you to be at the compete at the Ball Arena? What were you feeling throughout the day on Saturday, and what were your emotions like during the match where you ended up taking the title?
I would say through the day, Saturday. I mean, there's some nerves, I guess, or butterflies, you could say. But once it came to that match time, I was ready, and I don't know, it was a pretty intense match. Everybody was around the match, everybody was watching. Eyes were on that match the whole time because he's one of the top wrestlers in Colorado. And I mean, I guess they didn't really know who I was quite yet, but I mean, I guess they do now.
That's right. And as soon as you won the match, you reached over and hugged your family. What was that like to go over to them in that moment?
It was amazing. The support was crazy there. It was amazing. I was glad to see my family in the stands, my coaches that have coached me through the years. It was crazy. It was amazing.
That's awesome. Uh, so, Nikki, I wanted to ask you because um, you have been considered one of the best girls wrestlers in the state over your career. How have you approached that role? Also knowing that a lot of younger girls might look up to you, um, both in Colorado and both in and in Olathe.
Well, I just keep doing the best I can and wrestling and outside of wrestling so that people actually have a good person to look up to and not someone who does bad things. And it feels good because people actually want to be like me with wrestling because I've proved that I know how to work hard and actually do good in the sport.
Cool. Um, and like when you think about what, because now you're leaving as a senior, you got the state title 3 times, and then you almost got it this last time. What do you want your legacy to be as you prepare to graduate this spring?
Uh, well, I guess just someone who worked hard and kept doing their best at the sport and did as much as I could through my high school career and for the girls sport.
Awesome, cool. Well, Demarion, so I know that you're also you also play on the football team, and as a football team, you guys were pretty close to making the state championships this fall, but you didn't quite make it. But now you've gotten this individual title for yourself as a wrestler. What's that like for you?
It's amazing. I mean, it's cool to know that you've accomplished something by yourself, but I mean, I can never say it's not fun working with the team because I love those boys. Even the ones in wrestling that I got them through, I mean, I couldn't have got where I am without them. I made a wrestling partner. They were
And how much value do you put on winning this state title for Montrose?
I think there's a lot of value to it. We haven't had one since I think it said 2012, and I mean I did it. It's kind of crazy. We haven't had one since 2012, so we haven't had a state title here in quite a while.
Awesome. Well, Nikki, I wanted to ask you too, what was it like to be, along with your teammates Sadie Korn, Abby England, and Lanessa Duran, to represent the Olathe girls at the wrestling program for the first time at the Ball Arena?
It was great. We haven't wrestled there before, and the atmosphere at the Ball Arena is just great. And having our team there, and we had a bunch of like people come up and watch us. It was really cool because it was a big stage.
Yeah, like what were your emotions as you were walking in there and feeling how big the space was?
Well, I've wrestled in a lot of like big national tournaments, so I'm kind of used to the feeling, I guess, because I know what wrestling on big stages is like. It still gets you going a little bit.
Yeah, with all those people there and everything, I can
Yeah.
imagine. So Nikki, I know you're set to graduate this spring, and yeah, graduate from Olathe High School. How or are you gonna plan on staying in the wrestling world?
Yeah, I think I will. I've been talking with the CMU girls team, and I'm thinking about going there because it's close, and I won't have to travel as far, and I'll be pretty close to my family.
Awesome. Cool. Well, that's all the questions I have for you guys. Um, Thank you so much for being with us and for sharing part of your stories with us. Um, and best of luck to both of you going forward. Um,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.